Aging brings many challenges for us, not just for women, but for men as well. So we start to experience things like a decline in energy. Perhaps our liver is sluggish or doesn't function as well. Maybe we don't detoxify the same way that we did in our youth. So many different things to address. And there's many different supplements on the market, and it can be really overwhelming. Like, what do we take? When do we take it? What's important? What doesn't do anything? What should we be doing over 50, 60 and beyond? So today I have with me Dr. Nayan Patel, who is a renowned pharmacist, health consultant, and the founder of Auro Wellness. Hopefully I'm saying that right, Dr. Patel, Auro?
Yes, Auro.
Oh, Auro, okay. Dr. Patel's groundbreaking work has revolutionized approaches to boosting health and longevity by increasing natural antioxidant levels. We're going to get into what they actually are, because I think there's a lot of misconceptions. He has been working with physicians since 1999, I believe, to custom develop medication for clients and design a patient-specific drug and nutrition regimen. He's been a featured guest on the Human Upgrade with David Asprey, the Ultimate Human podcast, with Gary Brecka, and the Ben Greenfield Life. His book, The Glutathione Revolution, Fight Disease, Slow Aging, and Increase Energy, came out in 2020 after years of clinical research on the master antioxidant glutathione. Dr. Patel and his team have developed a patented technology to deliver this topically, and also developed a skincare line. And we're really going to get into glutathione today. Dr. Patel, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me today.
So first of all, I have two questions. I want to find out what glutathione, exactly what it is and what it does. But what is an antioxidant? It's funny, I wrote a book and I was writing away, and my editor got to the point where I talk about antioxidants. And she said, Carol, you can't assume everyone knows what that is. What is it?
Glutathione is by far the most powerful antioxidant our body produces. And oxidation is something that you see physically. For example, if you see a nail rusting away, that nail is getting oxidized. That process of oxidation is what is damaging the whole body from inside. And the purpose of an antioxidant is to stop from the body parts getting oxidized. So if we imagine a piece of nail that's sitting around and it never rusts because there's something a protective layer around it that doesn't allow the oxygen to get to the nail itself to rust it. So that's what the body is supposed to do. Body produces glutathione to deal with that. It's because you consume oxygen every single day of your life. So if you're consuming oxygen, you are producing oxidation inside your body. Then the body's job is to neutralize all those oxidative species so that you don't get rusted from inside out.
That's a good way of putting it. I wished I had you around when I was describing that for my editor, because it's hard to conceptualize that. Now, what is happening to that whole process as we're aging?
So oxidation is happening the minute you're born, right? You're breathing oxygen. There's a chemical reactions happening inside your body all the time. And the byproducts of all this is oxygen species. They are reactive. So in the short form, it's called reactive oxygen species, or called ROS for short. And there's another one called nitrogen reactive species as well. And that's another one is RNS. And so those two gases that are reactive inside the body is everywhere. And your body's our job is to kind of neutralize that so it doesn't have that impact it doesn't have the impact to make the body oxidize from inside out. And so that is happening every single day. The issue is not, can we stop oxidation? That is not a question, because you need oxygen to survive, right? You need oxygen. The power of oxygen is what you need to survive. So you do need that oxidation, but what you do not need is the damage that's caused by oxidation. And so the number one molecule that our body produces inside is glutathione, because the number one thing that we consume is air. And so if
Mm.
we consume so much of air, then the body has to neutralize all that air that is excess once the job is done. And so the number one molecule produced in the human body is glutathione to deal with that problem.
Now, with glutathione, as we age, is it declining like so many other things within our body?
So I know you asked this question earlier, and as we age, it's not that the body is declining the production of glutathione. Maybe it's going down starting the age of about 30 or 40-ish, but the decline is much lower. It's a very slow paced decline. It's not enough that requires supplementation. But the issue is that our needs are increasing a lot. And we can talk about all the things that depletes glutathione levels in the body, because once you know that part, I said, oh my God, everybody needs glutathione, because nobody can get away from all the disruptors that depletes the glutathione levels from your body in the first place. But to make glutathione, you need three enzymes. Oh, sorry. You need three amino acids, two enzymes, and two molecules of ATP. So if you don't have enough energy, which is ATP energy, you cannot produce enough glutathione. If you have enough energy, but you don't have enough of the raw materials, which is the three amino acids, then you cannot make glutathione. If you have enough raw materials or amino acids and enough energy, but don't have enough enzymes, then you cannot make enough glutathione. So everything has to be there for you to make glutathione. If one thing is missing, then the body cannot produce it.
Interesting. So there is a process to this. Now,
Yes.
when we look at individuals that live a long time, like 100 years or 98 years or 100 plus, and it's interesting because they're not always doing the lifestyle habits that we talk about, but yet there they are. Is that, and this may sound like a silly question, but is that process of producing glutathione, is there a genetic component?
Absolutely, there's a genetic component. There are a bunch of genes that are out there that if you have an issue with those genes, that your body cannot produce glutathione at all. But at the same time, if the genes are completely intact, you can produce glutathione for the rest of your life and not have to worry about it ever. So
Mm.
the people that are centurions, what they have found out is that all the people that live past 100 years is their oxidative stress is much lower than anybody else out there. They don't smoke, they don't drink alcohol, they don't expose themselves to environmental toxins that depletes all the glutathione levels.
What do you think is the major factor that depletes our levels? And I'm sure it's obviously not just one thing, but you mentioned the alcohol. And of course, we're exposed to a lot of toxins within our current environment.
Well, with the modern day society that we live in today, it's really difficult to get away from all the disruptors that depletes the glutathione levels from our body. The air that we breathe in is not 100% pure or clean. There's a lot of pollutants inside the air that you're breathing in. I live in Southern California, and we had fires a few months ago. And even right now, even a months later, the air is still polluted with all the products of combustion in the air floating around. And so this air that we're breathing in is not clean to begin with. The water that we drink has a lot of disruptors in there. If it's not purified and cleaned up, then you're drinking this water that can introduce a whole bunch of chemicals inside the body that can deplete the glutathione levels. The number one source for depleting glutathione levels is unfortunately cigarette smoking and alcohol.
Hmm.
One drink of alcohol can deplete the glutathione levels to zero. Just one drink. Yeah.
Wow.
It will come back and the body will respond to it really fast and start producing more glutathione about 3 or 4 hours later. But at that point, now you are basically vulnerable to any kind of issues that can happen because you just drank one glass of alcohol.
Wow. This is so interesting to me because I quit all alcohol over 4 months ago, both my husband and I, because we used to enjoy our wine. And then I just reached a point where I'm like, you know what? This just makes me feel terrible, like terrible, even a glass. And I'm not processing alcohol the way I used to. And so we both decided for health reasons to quit. And my sister recently passed from Alzheimer's. which was a wake-up call. Not that she was a drinker per se, but it really made me think about what can I personally do to minimize this stress on my body. So it's so interesting that that is really cigarettes and alcohol, the number one disruptors.
Well, alcohol depletes the glutathione levels instantaneously. That's like right away. The cigarette smoking, it introduces a lot of chemicals that your body has to detoxify. And so the detoxification process also happens because of glutathione. So glutathione, think about glutathione as two-part problem, a two-part solution. One is an antioxidant. It reduces any kind of oxidation that happens in your body. And the second part is a major detoxifier. It conjugates with known chemicals inside your body and helps them make it water soluble, or it can dump it in the intestines. Either way, it will help the liver get rid of those molecules outside the body pretty fast. And so it has a major functions inside the body in terms of cleaning up and keeping it free of contaminants from what we consume from outside sources. So just to things alone, if it's not done correctly, imagine a street full of, you live in a society where everything is full of trash. Just imagine that part. It's impossible to live in a society where it's full of trash, right? Somebody has to clean it up, right?
Right. Right.
And if it's not cleaned up on a regular basis, it becomes very difficult. So that's what glutathione does for us, is just clean up the whole body from inside out.
So I take it that it is a major factor in preventing. I use that word cautiously because I know we can't prevent everything, but maybe lessening our chances of getting things like, say, cardiovascular, Alzheimer's, inflammatory type diseases such as autoimmune.
So that's a loaded question, and I can answer with a little bit slightly differently, because we have to look at all these diseases and what the root cause analysis is. Where did they come from? Right? If you start peeling them back the way it came from, where did the whole thing started? When you were born, you didn't think that you're going to get heart disease or cancer or autoimmune condition, any of those things. No. Right? When you're a teenager, you're still invincible. In your 20s, you're still invincible. And then something changed in 30s. That maybe I'm not that invincible anymore. I should better take care of myself. In the 40s, you really start thinking twice. By the time you turn 50, you say, oh my God, if I don't take care of myself right now, I'm not sure what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then 60s is what people really start counting backwards. Oh my God, I only have this many years left now. And before that, you count, oh my God, I'm 50 years old, so I only live 50 years. But when you go to the 60s, and oh my God, now maybe I have 20 years left to live. I have 30 years left to live, whatever that time frame is. And so people are counting backwards. And the thing is, my job is to identify where the whole thing started from, right? And if you look at every major diseases in the world, every one of them, the link to all the diseases is oxidative stress. Okay, oxidative stress is the primary cause or the onset of all major illnesses in the world, not just the United States. So the question is, first of all, what is oxidative stress? How can we reduce it down? If we reduce it down, what can we do? I'm asking the questions to myself, by the way, so you don't have to ask them. But it's a major breakthrough if you learn that part. If you can learn that part, everybody has a chance to reverse the aging, live longer, and live healthier. So let me just talk about this one. Oxidation happens every single day in your life. Your body produces antioxidant, and it matches up, right? It matches. The number of oxidation and number of antioxidants produces is enough to neutralize every single thing, and that works all the time when you're young. Starting about the age of 30, the oxidation doesn't drop anymore, but your body's ability to produce glutathione drops a little bit. There's a gap from what your needs are to what your body can produce. That gap is called oxidative stress, because oxidation and antioxidant is not completely zero, and the gap is now what we call as oxidative stress. The stress is much, much lower when you're 30, and the stress is now self-propelling because now your needs have increased because there's oxidative stress. Your needs have increased, the body cannot produce enough, and so all of a sudden, the gap gets wider and wider and wider as you age. And when the gaps get wide enough, it starts showing up on your blood tests or your scans or some places. Oh, Carol, maybe you have some issues. You want to look, you check your diet, do some supplements, do something, because the rate is still not, you're still normal. You haven't no diseases yet, but it's getting not in your favor anymore. So all of a sudden, the oxidative stress is increasing, and by the time it shows up on the blood test, is about 10 years later. So by the time you're 40, they say, oh, maybe you have something's not right. It's not enough to treat you at this point because there's no medications for you yet. You just have to watch out what you do. When they say watch out, even the doctors do not know what to watch out for. And,
I bet.
oh, have a healthy diet. What's a healthy diet? Oh, it's so arbitrary, right? So anyway, so by the time you turn 40, now all of a sudden oxidative stress is increased to a point where it might give you an early onset of some disease, or maybe you're borderline diabetic, or you have borderline blood pressure issues, borderline autoimmune or inflammation issues, or you have knee pains, joint pains, this and that, and they have all these different things. And all they'll tell you is, oh, exercise, have a cleaner diet, do some walking, reduce your stress levels down, let's check your hormones, all kinds of things that people do, which is okay. I'm not saying not to do that part, but the root cause started way early on, 10, 15 years ago, when the oxidative stress was increasing in the first place, right? And maybe you take care of yourself and you get healthier and you change your diet to increase some of the amino acids that you need to produce the glutathione. So the body starts meeting up some of the demands, but not enough to make it zero. And so you go until you're 50, and maybe at the 50, you make a diagnosis with some early onset diseases, right? Diabetes, blood pressure, cholesterols, and autoimmunes, and things like that, and so on and so forth, right? But the thing is, it started when? At least 20, 25 years ago about oxidative stress. And now I want to tell you that one thing. What if you stop oxidative stress at the age of 50, can you reverse it? And that's a question you ask yourself. Can I reverse it? Hey, if I'm 60, if I can reduce my oxidative stress down to zero, can I go back to a 20-year-old, 30-year-old? The answer is yes and no. How can you do that? So let me give it an analogy so you understand. So you went to a grocery store, you pick a bag of groceries, your both hands are full, you kick the door open, or you have an app that opens the door for you. I don't know what you do. Open sesame, whatever you do, right? Open the door, you put the bags on the kitchen counter, and then since the door was open, the gush of wind comes in and dumps all kinds of leaves and dirt inside your house. So the door is open, the body is open up, oxidative stress comes in, and the stress is now inside your house, right? Now you have debris inside your house. Now I know like how clean of a house you want to keep it, because a clean house is habitable, and so you start cleaning the house right away with the vacuum and the brooms and whatever you have in your house. You start cleaning the house, but the house never gets cleaned up because guess what? The door is still open. But here's a question: what if you close the door first, which is the right thing to do? Is the house going to get cleaned up by itself? No. You still have to go clean up the house. So if just because you can stop the oxidative stress from happening today at the age of 50 or 60, the damage has already been done for years or decades. That has to be reversed. So if you assume that a one shot or one pill is going to take care of all your problems, you are so far ahead from the knowledge base that I don't know what to tell you. Because there's no magic pill, no magic drug, no magic shots is going to reverse your years worth of damage inside your body. So let's see, you close the door first, you start cleaning the house from inside, and you make a big pile of dirt. Who's going to get the dirt out? And now you need another tool to take the dirt out. So what glutathione does for your body, it shuts the door off, so there's no more new oxidative stress happening inside your body. Allows your body, now that there's no stress, the body can start healing itself because the body is constantly making new cells and new tissues and new things all the time. It can do that part. And then it collect all the debris, unwanted proteins and unwanted junk chemicals that you've been exposed to all these years. And then what the glutathione does, it gets rid of those chemicals outside your body by conjugations. So it shuts the door and cleans the debris out. It's by far the most powerful product that the body produces, hands down. And without glutathione, I don't think so there's anybody on this planet who's going to survive or thrive for that matters.
That is powerful. So, how do we get glutathione? Can we get it from our diet,
Yes.
supplementation? What is the best way?
All right. So you go straight for the jugular, right? I wanted more. I just want it now. I don't want to learn anything more about glutathione. I just tell me where I can get it. I want to get it in my body right now. I mean, you're just going straight for the answers right now. But that's a good thing because I want people to understand that portion too. That like my grandpa used to say that, right? To survive, you don't need more money. You just need to reduce your expenses.
Mm.
So to survive without glutathione is impossible. So instead of getting more glutathione, the first goal should be what things are depleting glutathione in my life and get rid of it from your diet, from your exposure to completely. That's the number one thing you gotta do. You cannot expect to drink like a fish every single day and expect the glutathione to take care of all your
Mhm.
problems. That is not going to happen. Okay? So the number one thing you do is reduce your expenses. Take everything out of your diet and exposure to the environment that is causing depleted glutathione levels. That means chemicals, cosmetics that are hormone disruptors, or there are chemicals that are very hard to get rid from the body. Alcohol is the number one toxin that actually depletes the glutathione levels to zero within the first half an hour of drinking it. Right? It's zero. So that's by far that's the most important part you can do. Smoking, smoke inhalation. Unfortunately, if there's fires in the environment, then you're breathing that air. But a lot of time, it's okay to put a mask on, so you're at least filtering some of this air out, so you're not inhaling all those gross particles from the air. Right? Having your house. By the way. You live in your house or in indoor environments, your car, your house, your office is almost 90% of your life.
True.
So those three things have an air purifier, right? Make sure that your car has a purification system built in. Make sure your office has a purification system there, and your home has an air purifier. So at least you're not breathing toxic air, right? But then it won't be fair to have a filter in your house and then you go outside and have a cigarette. That doesn't make sense either. So, right? So that
Right.
doesn't make sense either. So yeah, stop that things. If there are a gas-powered car in front of you and there's smoking away, make sure you put your car in a recycle so that you're not getting that smoke inside your car, right? That's carbon monoxide. All those things make a difference. So once you stop the expenses, right? You can literally go until 30, 35, maybe up to 40 years of age without having to worry about supplementation at all. And that's the beauty of what the human body is. We are so well designed that we can deal with our own problems all the time. We don't need pharmaceuticals. You don't need me as a pharmacist to make your prescriptions for you. Trust me. I've done that. I still do that every day basis. I don't enjoy what I do when I make medications because I see that there's a better way to deal with this problem than a medication that's going to do it for you, right? And
Right.
so for right now, example, just the last 2 years alone, everybody that I know of them, they're injecting this GLP-1 peptides for weight loss. Oh my goodness! I said, first put a zip in your mouth, right?
Hmm.
Zip it up. If you don't eat it, you don't have to worry about it. And I understand people say it's easier for you to say. I said, no, I was heavy at one point. It took me 13 years to get to where I am today. I have not gained a weight even 1 year since I started my journey. And it's all because of changing my diet and the way I do and what I eat. I don't exercise, but at the same time, I compensate that by having a cleaner diet, right? And so I want to make people to make sure they're making better choices. stop expenses, and then have a proper diet that is rich of those three amino acids: glycine, glutamine, and cysteine. Now, glycine and glutamine is kind of found in most of the foods that you eat. It doesn't matter if it's vegetables or meats, there's plenty of it. Cysteine is a little bit harder to get because people have to develop a taste for cysteine, right? It smells like sulfury, so people don't like to eat those kinds of foods all the time. So all I can tell you is that in your diet, just put in your favorite search engine or AI robot, just ask your AI machine, whatever AI robot you have, cysteine-rich foods. And you have your choices of vegans, vegetarians, carnivores, omnivores, paleo, Mediterranean. I don't care what diet you follow. You can give all your choices. Make sure you have the cysteine-rich foods in every single day you eat, right? So that will, in fact, give you enough of the glutathione that your body, and it will try to meet up with the demands all the time. So that is the two things you have to do until the age of 35 to 40 without even looking at supplementation, right? Now, if all things fail, or if you decide to live past 40, which I strongly suggest you should do that, you might need supplementations. 140 years we have known about glutathione since we first discovered this molecule. We had never figured out how to get inside your body. The way the body is designed, it does not accept a peptide like glutathione from outside sources to take it to the mouth or nose or inject it, whatever you do, to get inside your body and get inside the cells where it's supposed to be.
Why does it reject it?
It rejects because the body is designed to make your own peptides all the time.
Okay.
So anything that we need, the body makes it itself. It's like if you want a new eye, you just don't eat an eye and the body will get there, right? Does it happen? No, it doesn't do that part. The body is only designed to accept nutrients from the whole foods or whatever foods you eat. It'll break it apart and absorb what the body needs and dump the rest. 90% of the foods you eat, it goes out the other end. Only a very small percentage it gets absorbed. And the thing is, you always think that, oh, my body's smart enough. If it needs it, it'll take it. No, it does not do that part, right? There's a process for every single thing. And glutamine being a peptide is very, very, very difficult to get intracellularly. And so 140 years, nobody ever figured out that part, right? So there's a liposome form technology that people take it. It protects the glutathione from getting broken into the stomach acid. And so it gets into the intestines and assume that it gets absorbed in the intestines. And the answer is no. Even in the intestines, it gets broken apart because the breaking apart process is done by the enzymes, not the acid, right? So even though you bypass the acid, the enzymes will break it apart. Let's say you swallow by the mouth. Same thing happens. Even if it's swallowed by the mouth, the enzymes in the mouth will break apart the peptide into various amino acids. The amino acids can get absorbed and make your own glutathione. So that's okay too. So save your money and you can take some amino acids, right? So I have also made injection form of glutathione that you inject straight into the bloodstream. And like everything else, hey, if I inject it into the bloodstream, hey, it's already there now. It's already almost there, but it's not in the blood cells. It stays in the water part of the blood, and the water part of the blood gets filtered by the kidneys every 5 to 15 minutes, and about 5 to 15 minutes, all the glutathione is in the urine. So you just spend so much money injecting a good product, but the body rejects 100% of it.
Wow, I have injected it in the past when I'm coming down with something, and I can't say I noticed a huge difference, and that's probably why.
Yeah. Well, it works for about 5 to 15 minutes, but it's not working because it's getting inside your cell. It's just working from the outside the cell, right? It's okay. It's not the bad thing. It's just I want better results. I want my oxidative stress down to zero. Shut the door so hard that no debris will come back inside, right? And if you only shut the door for 15 minutes and then it opens up again, that's not fun. That's not a deal for me. I want to shut open, lock it up, and so nothing gets inside back in my house, right? This my body is a sanctuary. I want to shut down all the oxidative stress down to almost zero. And so the body can revive and rejuvenate and regenerate all the new body organ parts, cells, everything that the body needs. It can do its work, right? And so my research started back 25 plus years ago when I first found out that none of these products are going to work for me. And I was a young kid, 5, 6 years into my career, and my mom just passed away in 1999, early 2000s. Uh, and I said, okay, I need to work on something different. My mom was too young to pass away, and I need to figure out something different. She was my inspiration because she spent her whole life to put me through college and pay for my education for every single thing, and never going to enjoy the life that she deserved. And so my thing was, I said, okay, what am I going to do with it, right? And I started working on glutathione molecule and with no intention or no hope that something's going to come out of it the other end, right? And I took it step by step. My first goal was, can I get the glutathione stable enough outside the human body so I have time to work on it? So that was my first patent, in fact. I got stable as a form of glutathione at a room temperature on my desk in 2005. I said, wow, now I can work on it, right? That was the first thing. I thought my job was done as a pharmacist. I get a stable molecule and somebody will take over from here and do the additional research. Nobody's going to do additional work for you, right? Nobody believes in the product as much as you do. So I said, okay, fine. I keep on further doing it. 2 years later, we identified that I need to get through the skin. The skin is a physical barrier. If it's a large molecule, it cannot get through the small pores. So to get a small enough size so to get to the pores of your skin. And so that was my second patent as to how I get through your skin, right? And so we develop a technology where we can twist, like you wring the towel. When you wring a towel, it gets smaller, right? When you wring it, because it's a big towel, it's not wringing it gets smaller and smaller. Imagine a molecule which is three-dimensional, which is very fluffy molecule, and you start taking all the air out. It gets smaller and smaller and smaller. It gets small enough to get through your pores of your skin. So that's my second technology that we developed. So now we go inside your body. It's still not solved yet. Because now it gets inside your cell. Inside your cell is a chemical barrier. It just doesn't go because the size is too small. No, it's like you have a magic password. If you have the password, the door opens up for you. And so the cell has a receptor sticking out there. And so the receptor takes nutrients from outside sources. And so I had to figure out what nutrients can I disguise this glutathione into it so the body can take it, right? And so since I got the size small enough, all cells needs what? Sugars to produce ATP for energy production. The sugars will just suck it up. It sucks it up really fast, right? So my goal was, can I get a sugar molecule, a cyclic sugar molecule, and stuff it with glutathione inside? And so outside is sugar, inside is glutathione. And so that's another patent that we received on that one too, on how to get inside your cell. And once we got in there, it's like the whole door just opened up for me for the very first time, right? I said, oh my goodness. And it took me, this was 2007, took me 14 years of clinical research to figure out how much to give you, how often to give you, how long can I give it to you, what kind of results am I going to get, if I can do it indefinitely, am I going to reverse anything? Energy, can I get you more energy? What do you need? And how is your body able to rejuvenate and regenerate again for the first time? And so in 2021, we released the product to the public. But for that 14 years, we worked with the doctors and researchers all over the country trying to get some data. The book that I wrote, The Glutathione Revolution, is all my research that I did from 2007 to 2019. That's 12 years of research of everything that I found out in my patient population that they use the product. And it's just this short of miracle at this point for me. And the emails I get, the phone calls I get on a daily basis, blessings I get from every doctors and patients that I talk to, that I meet in person, all I hear is that thank you for what you have done and thank you for giving my life back. And so I hope that everybody gets to experience that one day, because just by closing the door with glutathione is not enough. You have to fix everything in your diet, in your exposure to pollutions and toxicities. And once you do that part, your body starts rejuvenating. And it'll take you 10, 15 years. But the thing is, keep in mind, you don't have to wait for 10 to 15 years to see the full benefit. You can start seeing benefit in the first month. Because once the door is shut off and there's no oxidative stress, you have more energy. And the thing is, it also helps to get the debris out there. So I've been using it for 5 or 6 years now, religiously every single day. And I just did my blood test just about 2 months ago. And, and my glutathione levels were low. And I was so mad. I was so pissed
I
off,
bet.
right? I said, I called the CEO of the lab company. I said, your testing is wrong. There's no way the levels are my levels are low. There's no chance of it. I says, please don't blame the machines. The machines are just doing the job, okay? They're just telling you what's inside your blood. That's all they're doing it for you. I said, so let's look at your data. So he had another sample remaining. So I said, let me analyze your data for one more time. Then let me look at broad markers. And what he found out was, yes, my gluten levels were low because guess what? Everything was getting used up to reduce my oxidative stress down and to
Mhm.
rebuilding, getting all the things out. So they saw all my metabolites were up. So that means I have all this metabolites of glutathione they were up. My oxidative stress downs was zero. My everything else was functioning just fine. And then it dawned on me, right? So Carol, what if you live in a society where you have expenses and your expenses per month is, let's say, $5,000 a month. If I give you $5,000 every single month and 5 years later, how much money you have left over?
Spend it all.
Spend it all. Zero.
Yes. Zero.
Zero. And so I didn't think about it, right?
Mm.
But if I give you $6,000, then in 5 years you have $60,000 spare because 12 times 5 is 60 months. And now you have $60,000 left over because your needs only $5,000. So whatever that I was taking, I was meeting up all my demands. So everything was functioning just fine, but I have no reserves left. And by the way, the question that came to me, do I want reserves of glutathione? And the answer is no. Because the more glutathione heavy in your body, the body has to store it and process it. You're putting more work on the body. The body has enough things to do on its own. Don't give additional work,
So only what it needs.
only what it needs. And that was my original research when I found out. This was back in 2010 or 11 when I first found out that about 100 milligrams, about 4 sprays of this glutathione is all you need to meet up all your demands. You can use it every 4 to 6 hours if you wanted to, but twice a day application is more than sufficient.
So you just spray it on the skin.
Spray it on the skin, rub it in. It takes about 2 minutes. And it's already in your cells, and boom, there you go. All the glutathione's already there.
I love the idea because I get so tired of swallowing all
Pill
my
fatigue.
stuff.
It's a big thing. Pill fatigue is a huge thing. By the way, once I learned about the glutathione and how it works and why it works and things like that, I started questioning all the vitamins. Do I need this for supplementations? And the answer is no, I don't need it. So I stopped taking all the vitamins.
Wow. So what do you take? I mean, is there anything that you
Two things.
Okay.
I take my glutathione spray every single day, and I use magnesium every single day.
I'm a big believer in magnesium.
Magnesium, unfortunately, is to conduct electricity. And we live in a society where we never ground it. This earth is built to take all the excess charge from your body. I never walked barefoot on the planet Earth, ever.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, and people have grounding mats and all those things to discharge.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really hard to do that part, right? And so, yeah, I want to work on dirt. Just sit there for 30 minutes if I could, right? And just get rid of all the electricity, all the electric charges. And so magnesium helps me process that up a little bit better for me. But yeah, that's the only reason I take magnesium, because otherwise, it will be very disorganized in my on my body functions.
Now, what sorts of signs should people be looking for that they are deficient, that that perhaps there's a problem on the horizon? Are there signs, or is it like you said, it's developing 20 years? So I think of myself, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis at the age of, 53 when they started the process of diagnosing.
Okay.
And I've never been able to, I can manage it. I haven't reversed it. And I can look back and I realize in my 40s, I was having symptoms. I just didn't know what they are.
Gotcha. So remind me again before we finish this podcast to share about my story about my dad. Okay, so I'll share the
Okay.
story about that. But when it comes to signs and symptoms of glutathione, unfortunately, it is such a subtle thing, right? That you don't get to see it until it's a really big problem. And that's the unfortunate part. Now, the good thing is that even if you see a bigger problem, as long as you're not diagnosed with the disease, or if the damage is not irreversible, you can go back to normal again. The body gets if the damage is irreversible, like if you get diagnosed with some disease, right? That's irreversible damage. You can come back to being normal, but you cannot go back to being completely healthy.
That makes sense.
You can function for the rest of your life without having any pain, any suffering whatsoever, but you cannot go back to the beginning where you are disease-free completely. You will come to a point where this is the best you'll ever be, and that best is actually not so bad either.
Right.
It's not so bad either, okay? But I cannot go back to completely being a child, okay? And so my goal is for everybody listening today is two things. One, create a habit from eliminating all toxic components out of your diet, exposure, your wherever you live, whatever you do. That's number one thing. Number two things, if you eat food, make sure there are no nutritional facts on that food.
No nutritional facts?
Yes, think about it. If you buy a banana, does it give the nutrition facts on it?
I see yes, I see what you're saying.
Yes. If it's real food, you don't have to tell you what nutrition is in there.
Now, what about foods that they're considered healthy, like say quinoa, but they are refined in the sense that they've been put in a package?
So as long as, the thing is, if it's a real quinoa, they should not have any nutritional facts on there.
Okay, see what you're
Right?
saying.
Yeah. And like even water have nutrition facts on there right now. That means it's fortified.
Right.
It's not real water. Well, it is real water, but it's fortified. No. Figure out a way to clean and you don't need any fortification of any water plants to drink what you have to drink. So eat real food, right? I don't care if you're vegan or vegetarians or carnivore, it doesn't really matter, but eat real food, please. And stay away from whatever toxicants that are out there as much as possible. That's the only chance you have to keep your body healthy at all times. And then if you need the supplementation with glutathione, it's an amazing thing that can do to you. If you use glutathione supplementation and if you see zero benefits from it, hey, that's the most amazing thing, because guess what? Overall, you're very healthy. So when people say that, hey, I bought your product and I didn't feel anything, I say, I just gave you a clean bill of slate right now. Enjoy your life, right?
Right.
Because otherwise, if it's not healthy, you will feel something. Now you know. So, oh my! I had no idea I was so bad. I had really healthy people, like really healthy people, and they couldn't even take the 4 sprays, which is about 100 milligrams. I said they were so toxic from inside, even though they're very healthy. The toxic got built up years ago. They never get rid of it. So they got healthy for the last 5 or 10 years, and they assume the body's going to dump all the products away. But it does not do that. It needs help. It needs glutathione to help dump all the products out of the system.
As you were talking, I was thinking about one thing that just really drives me crazy at the age of 63, and it started, I'm going to say my late 40s, is the brain fog. And so initially I thought, okay, hormone replacement therapy, which I do, bioidentical, it's helped, but I still struggle with that. I've assumed maybe it's due to the autoimmune. How can glutathione help with that? You know what I mean? That just kind of brain
So,
fog that settles in.
So I want to make sure people understand it's not how glutathione can help you, it's what can glutathione help you with. It's not how. How means how do I use it? And it's not about how, it's not about how. It's about what. So
What?
think about it. Think about what. What is causing brain fog, right? People may have MTHFR gene mutations. People may have other gene SNPs like GSTM or GSTP or GGT or GST. If all those gene SNPs, your need for glutathiones are very, very high. If you don't have enough of the glutathione, it causes brain fog. And why brain fog? The question is why brain fog? Because your brain is such a small portion. Right? It's only 2% of the whole body weight, just 2%. But yet it consumes 80%. Well, sorry, 20%, not 80%, 20% of all the oxygen that you breathe in. So if you only breathe a certain amount of oxygen, I don't care if the body doesn't get it or not. The first person that gets the oxygen in your body is your brain.
Interesting.
So oxygen also causes oxidative stress. And so when you have brain fog, your stress level is extremely high in your brain. And if you, I can't tell you how many people I have heard from that are using glutathione have, oh my God, I can sleep like a baby now, or my brain fog went away. I can think clearly now. One doctor said, I had no idea I had a brain fog in the first place. You know, and so it's a really an amazing thing to witness for yourself once you start closing the door of the oxidative stress down and allowing the body to basically heal itself. Glutathione doesn't aid in the process of healing. Glutathione is not cleaning your house. All it's doing is keep the door shut, and if whatever debris are in the liver, it'll help get rid of it. But the rest of the body, your body still has to do all the work.
Okay, that's making sense to me.
Yeah. The
Shut
body
the
still has to
door.
do all the work. The body has to do everything. The glutathione does not do anything for you, but it just allows your body to do everything.
Okay. I've got that. And that makes such sense. And I think it's such an important point because people do look for that magic bullet. I know anytime I do a post about a supplement, it's like my DMs just light up because people are looking for that one thing. What's the
Yeah.
one thing?
And in my family and my friend circle, this glutathione molecule it's been a godsend to us. I feel so blessed every single day that I've been the chosen one to spread the message about this product. I feel so blessed about that one.
Tell us about your dad.
Oh my gosh. So my dad, in the 40s, he developed type 2 diabetes, arthritis, and blood pressure. And as far as I knew growing up, he always had all those three conditions. He could, by the evening he hits some, his hands gets all cringy. The good thing he never beat us because hands was always painful. No, just kidding. No, he never laid a hand on us. But we grew up in Africa. I was born in Zambia, Africa. So we grew up in Africa. And, of course, the healthcare system over there is not the top of the line. But still, he was able to manage to take care of himself the way most people did at that time. So as far as I knew, he also had diabetes, also had arthritis, and also taking some blood pressure pills and doing garlic pills and whatnot. He's all his home remedies. I used to call my mom the pharmacist over there because she's doing all his homemade remedies to take care of him, of course, all the time. But anyways, my mom passed away 25 years ago, and my dad 2 or 3 years later, it took him 2 or 3 years to kind of say, okay, fine, I'll move in with you guys. So finally he moved in with us, and so we started taking care of him, did the hormone replacement therapy for him, and just started getting him on a healthy side. He was a little bit on the chunky side, not obese, not really fat, but it's just not slim pickings, right? It was not the slimmest guy. Anyway, so he was there, and I did the best I could to help him get to a very stable health-wise, right? He was still just surviving at that point, right? At the age of 77-ish, 77, 78, he started developing some chest pains, right? No, sorry, not chest pain, shortness of breath. Shortness of breath. I said, you know what, doc? I told my dad, I said, we should let's get an EKG done for you. So we got the EKG done. The EKG did not come out very good. I said, you know what? Let's just do an angio because we want to see what the heck is happening. So did an angiograph 2 or 3 days later. and they found out that one of his main arteries is 100% blocked. 100% blocked. And he says, oh my God, I have no idea how he survived. And you schedule an angiograph. They put a stent right away, one stent, put the right away. Blood flow happened instantaneously. No more shortness of breath. Everything was great. Everything was fine. Of course, the doctor wants to put him on statin drugs, cholesterol pills, and all kinds of other medications, blood thinners, and everything else. I said, and my dad goes, do I take all those medications? I said, well, you don't have cholesterol issues. So the cholesterol pills is not going to do anything for you. Blood thinner is required because you have a stent in there for the next 3 months. So take the blood thinner for 3 months. But your issues are inflammation or maybe some calcification, but nothing else. And about that time, I was three years into my research, and I had discovered glutathione. So he was my patient number one.
I love this.
Right? Was my patient number one.
Mm.
He started taking the glutathione, and like a good kid I am, I forgot about him. 2 years later, I was sitting having dinner with him one day, and he was pounding on sugars and carbs. I said, Dad, what are you doing? You know, what's your sugar levels right now? Oh, my sugar's fine now. Don't worry about it anymore. I said, I've been going to the doctors, and the last 2 or 3 readings, my HbA1c levels, the sugar levels, the 3 months aggregates, it's like very low. It's like 5.4, 5.2. It's very, very low now. I got no problem now. He goes, wait a second. I looked at the blood test reports on his phone and said, sure enough, I said, dang, it's low. I said, that's pretty good. I said, Dad, but you know, we are Indians. Our issue is not the morning sugar. It's the postprandial, which is 2 hours after you eat, is the biggest concern that we have. I said, I know what you're going to tell me. Your brother already told me that part. So I've been monitoring my sugar 2 hours after I eat, and I have 14 days readings. Here's the machine. Check it out here for yourself. Everything was low, normal. I said, wait a second. This is not supposed to happen. He said, what are you doing? I said, only thing I'm doing different is just this glutathione right now. And I do have some energy. I said, oh, good, you have energy. So make sure you walk 30 minutes a day every single day. I said, 30 minutes? And then he was so proud about this one. Right? Pulled his phones out. He was walking 6 miles per day.
Wow.
Did I tell you that he had arthritis for 40 years ago? 35 plus years ago, he had arthritis. He had type 2 diabetes, blood pressure issues. And now all of a sudden, he's walking 6 miles per day. He's pain-free. His sugar's under control. Wow. I said, oh my God, this is amazing. I said, keep on doing what you're doing, keep on taking it. And then another couple more years goes by. And then one day he comes to me. I said, I went to a chiropractor and my hips really misaligned. And then my chiropractor says that my hips are aligned because my knees are buckling in because of arthritis for all these years. So he says I should get my knee replacement done. I said, Dad, you're 84. Well, that's okay. Let's go to the doctor. So we went to this doctor, did the x-ray, and the doctor was shocked that he had no pain. There was no pain, but he was completely disformed from inside, right? I said, oh my God, that's like 30 years of damage to your bones, but you have no pain. And all of a sudden the doctor says, yep, you do need both the knee replacement done. If you want, we can do it one at a time, and over the next 1 year, we can do both the knees. And then my dad goes, no, don't both the knee at the same time. I hear it's very painful, and I don't do my surgery when I'm 85 or 86 years of age. So just tell me what to do, and I'll prepare myself, and I will get the surgery done at the same time. So I said, bicycling 30 minutes per day. Of course, he is an overachiever. He did 60 minutes, 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the evening. I put a bicycle in his bedroom, so he just keeps on pedaling every single day. Got his quads really, really strong. And his knee replacement at the age of 84, yes. In age of 84, his knee replacement. And 2 days later, he walked out of the hospital. They make you walk right away.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they make you walk right away. And he was able to walk right away, no problem whatsoever. Of course, it was painful as hell. And so we had a physical therapist come by the house, I think once or twice a week. By the 30 days, he was already walking a block.
That is remarkable.
He was already walking a block. Double knee replacement at the same time. He was already walking a block. And initially, he had the walker on there. After that, he had the cane on there, 30 days. And after 30 days, he just took the cane away as well. It was done. Right? So he started experimenting. Another month goes by. He was walking almost a mile and a half already. He's already walking that much. And 3 months goes by. The doctor already said that do not come by because it's going to take you 6 months to heal. You can't travel anywhere. So he calls me up and says, hey, can you make an appointment to see a doctor? I said, okay, whatever. So I made an appointment. And he says that he did the x-ray again. Everything was fine, normal. He was walking good, no pain whatsoever. And my dad asked him a question. So you said I cannot travel for 6 months, but can I travel now? The doctor says, well, everything seems to be normal, so I don't see why not. I've never seen an 85-year-old man recover so fast in ever life. But if I think you can travel. Oh, thank God. Because he already booked the ticket for next week. He didn't even tell us, right? He already booked out to go to India. And so I'm telling the story to you is because at the age of 77-ish, he was barely surviving. From survival, he started using the glutathione, he started living his life. And from 77 to 85, he's already been to, every single year, he's been to India. He's already been to Australia, New Zealand. He went on a trip. I think he even walked the glacier in New Zealand as well. Wow. He started traveling everywhere that he could, that he wanted to do at the time. After his knee replacement was done, he said, "Oh my God, let's go to." We were going to go to Costa Rica with my family. My dad goes, "Oh, don't forget about me." Everywhere we went to, he came with us. Costa Rica was an adventure trip, so he said, "I'll hang with you guys. Don't worry about me." Right? And so he walked and he did everything that we did. He did almost all the things that we wanted to do. We went to Hawaii at the Big Island, and that's all adventure trip as well, right? So he was with us. We went to Alaska. He was with us in Alaska as well. I mean, he did everything he wanted to do. He traveled the world. He was disease-free now. He had no sugar elevations. His blood pressure was gone. His arthritis is there's no pain-free. He's walking 6 miles per day, enjoying his life. He's just enjoying his life. Last year, same thing happened. He was in India traveling again, like his normal trip that he does, and he was in India. And we always tell him, just be careful about eating, right? Diet is, oh, I just love the food over there. Yeah, he was eating some street food. Stomach bug, right? Diarrhea.
Oh, yeah.
Dad, what are you doing? Just eat a restaurant food. He's single, so he does everything by himself. At the age of 88, 89, he's still traveling, opening the house, taking care of himself. He will go for like 4 months in a row. He'll be just by himself, right? Doing everything on his own. And his house is right on the ocean on the second floor, and there's no elevator, so he has to walk up and down all the time, right? And he does it on his own. He does everything on his own, even the foods and the groceries and everything. It doesn't really matter. He took care of himself like anything else. I said, just eat at the restaurant. Don't eat street foods. And, the diet did not go away for about 2 or 3 days. I said, Dad, see a doctor, get some antibiotics, whatever, get some help. But the next morning, bam, he falls out of the shower. Just opens his skull, right? His skull. But the thing is, he was still coherent. It was still okay. Right away, called somebody, and my cousin was there, so she took him to the hospital right away, immediately. And of course, my dad goes, "I'm fine. Don't worry about it. I'm okay." Completely conscious, coherent, no loss of memory whatsoever. I do know a neurosurgeon for NFL. He was one of the team doctors, and so I called him right away. I said, "Hey, my dad just fell down in India. It looks like he may have some brain hemorrhages." The first he asked, is he coherent? Is he conscious? Is it memory loss? Is he talking? I said, yep, all of this is okay. He's talking, no memory loss. What says, okay, do not do any operations. Do not open up the skulls. Do not do anything. Tell me which hospital he is, and let me see what I can do. In 2 hours, there was a neurosurgeon visiting my dad in that hospital in India by his bedsides. And I said, oh, wow. In 2 hours, I said, yep. It's just give me an update. I said, your dad's okay. There's some internal bleeding going on, but it's coherent, it's cognizant, it's no loss of memory, his eye contact is great. It's just he did everything checked up. Hopefully everything's okay in the next 3 or 4 days, then he should be able to travel in 10 days. My dad hears this thing. Of course, see, I told you, I'll be fine. Don't worry about me, right? I'll be okay. I'll see you in 10 days. Don't have to rush to come pick me up over here. I'll travel on my own. My brother was already planning to go anyways. I said, my brother goes, I'm going to go right away. I'm just going to bring him back over here, right? He goes, see, I'll be fine. He picks up the phone, talks to his brothers, talks to his sisters, talks to everybody. It's getting late at night now. It's already 11:30ish, I believe so. And so right away, he goes, okay, I got to go to sleep now. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Puts his phone down, goes to sleep, and never wakes up again. It was 89. And so I tell this story for a couple of reasons. One is that at the age of 78, he was given renewed life again. And he took the life and he just did not survive. He lived his life. In the last 11, 12 years, he had 13 overseas trips. He had about 5 vacations, adventurous vacations. He did everything he wanted to do. He went to India every single year for 3 to 4 months, except for that one year when he had his the stent put in there. That's the only year he missed. Other than that, he was there every single year. Every year he went there. My story about this one is for those people in the late 70s, early 80s. If you think they have done living your life, there's a second chance,
Mm.
right? There's a second chance for everybody. And I hope, I hope that I'm the person that gives the second chance to the whole world. Because my goal is to make sure that everybody gets to enjoy the life to the fullest, right? If you're in the 70s and 80s and you cannot go to your grandkids' ball games or the recitals, you cannot walk over there or you get short breath and whatever it is, allow the body to fight for you. Stop the oxidative stress down. Have glutathione to reduce the stress down, heal the body from inside. The body, even at the age of 80, can literally heal itself. It's not going to go back to a 20-year-old person again, but it will allow you to do everything you want to do, even at the age of 80, or better, at 89.
What a beautiful gift.
Thank you for listening to a story.
Thank you for sharing it, Dr. Patel. I mean, you really gave your father such a beautiful gift, the gift of quality of life, because we don't want just to have years. We
Yes.
want those years to be meaningful and full and exciting. And I just love that. And the work you're doing. Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
truly appreciate it. And now, as we wrap up, how can listeners learn more about your work and
Yeah.
potentially use the glutathione?
Absolutely. So my website is aurowellness.com, AURO wellness.com. Not O, it's AURO wellness.com. Yeah, subscribe to the newsletters. I do take some time to educate my to my patients and customers. But if you're over the age of 30, you know what? Help yourself. Help your body heal. Try it. We do offer 100% money back guarantee. We don't ask any questions. I don't want your money if this is not the right product for you. But at the same time, do not let anything pass by without trying it.
Yes.
That's what I'm hoping for everybody. And if you're a reader, pick up the book. It'll inspire the heck out of you about all the success stories that I have seen over the years. It's a very easy read. It's just a bunch of great stories. And if you're a physician that you're listening to this podcast, everything that's in the book is fully referenced with all the research articles. So you should be able to cross link all my work with the research, so that even you will be okay to read the book as well.
Thank you so much, Dr. Patel. It's been an absolute pleasure and would love to have you back on for the discussion on hormones.
Absolutely. I'd love to come back. Thank you.
So to our listeners, be sure you check out the show notes for all of the information that Dr. Patel shared on how to follow him and get his book. And we wish you every blessing wherever you are in the world. Bye for now.